guys! So a bit ago I made a poll about what I should post, and the majority wanted videos on my EU lore. So I figured I'd start with my FNaFverse because it's the one I've built up the most and it's the easiest to explain. I'll probably make multiple videos, but I mainly wanted to start with the lore before the series takes place. Enjoy the shit art in the background. Anyway, let's get started. Anna and Matthew met via their mutual friend, Marcus. Matthew and Marcus were childhood best friends, while Anna met Marcus on a court case with Anna being his lawyer. Marcus was dealing with assault charges because he punched a guy half to death for trying to be a drunk no man to his soon-to-be wife, Adrain's mom. The charges were dropped, however, because the dude didn't show up to a case he filed. Marcus wanted to show appreciation to Anna for her taking his case, so he offered to make her a meal. Not in a flirty way, he just did that as a way of saying thank you. Anna took a bit to agree out of worry for her reputation, but she ended up agreeing. When Marcus gave Anna the meal he had made, he mentioned that he had a friend that he thought that Anna would get along with. Anna decided to meet the person who Marcus mentioned because she figured having a life outside of work would be a good way to evolve in her work. The person turned out to be Matthew. They hit it off pretty well, which led to them dating, etc. Later on, Anna ended up meeting Valerie, and they became pretty good friends. Though when Brian turned 6, Anna and Matthew got into a fight and ended up breaking it off. Though Matthew had partial custody of Brian. About 9 months to a year later, Anna heard from Marcus that Matthew had gotten with Valerie and was pissed. She stopped being friends with Valerie entirely. It didn't help that Matthew still had partial custody, so she'd still have to see Valerie when she dropped off Brian with his dad. Though she made it very obvious that she didn't want Valerie in any way close to her son. When Dylan was born, Matthew agreed to take Brian less, so that 1, Anna didn't have to see him or Valerie, and 2, he could take care of Dylan with Valerie. This ended up with Brian needing therapy, because the divorce was hard enough for him. Which is where Amiri comes into play from here. Brian started to see Amiri more as a father figure than Matthew, though Amiri was starting to fall for Anna. When Matthew and Marcus died, Amiri and Anna had just started dating. Brian was 8, Dylan was 1, and Adrian was 3 to 4. Valerie ended up losing the financial support from Matthew to take care of herself and Dylan, which means she had to work a lot more hours. Valerie ended up getting exhausted from working so long, so she made a drastic decision. She gave Dylan to Anna to take care of. She knew Dylan would be better cared for with Anna than with her. While Anna was very hesitant, mainly because of her hate for Valerie, she agreed. Though with a cost. Anna would take care of Dylan and treat them like her own son, but Valerie was not allowed to make any contact with Dylan or Brian under any circumstances. It very much broke Valerie's heart to agree to those terms, but she didn't have much of a choice at the time, so she did. Though she hurried to forget with work so that it wouldn't affect her. So Brian and Dylan were raised together, neither of them knowing that they were half-brothers. Anna didn't ever mention Valerie or Matthew, but Adrain was allowed over at any time. Amiri was unsure about the whole not mentioning Matthew or Valerie thing, but he didn't want to put either of the boys under stress, so he went along with it. Brian and Dylan grew very close despite their 7 to 8 year age gap. When Brian went to college, Dylan made him promise that he would at least check up twice a week, which Brian agreed to. Brian met John and Ursa in college, becoming friends with them, despite John's less-than-fun personality. After college, they kinda drifted apart, after not talking. Brian actually has a medical degree, but he never uses it. When Brian came back, he became interested in FNaFverse entertainment and wanted to own a location. Anna tried to shut down that idea mainly because she was scared that what happened to Matthew and Marcus would happen to Brian. But when she saw that he was passionate about it, she gave him some money to start with. Dylan had some friends from high school. Acapulco, Sleep, Florence, Sammy, and Adrian. They meet Jake, Ivy, and Sabrina later in Season 1. Dylan also found Saber at the end of freshman year, and Anna and Amiri let them keep him. During summer, Dylan managed to convince Anna to let them stay with Brian, which ended up leading to a permanent thing because Brian's place was closer to Dylan's school. So that's pretty much it for the lore, so now I'll say some fun facts, I guess. Dylan's friends call Brian Big Bro Bri, though Brian has no clue why. Dylan hates John entirely. Florence is actually a nice dud. Brian doesn't trust any of them with a stove. Okay, bye, that's it.